Well, good morning, everybody. Look, I made coffee. I never make coffee. It is Labor Day weekend, by the way. And let's go in the other room. I'll show you what I'm doing. You can see we got some papers on the floor here. And if we open up the receipt drawer, there it is. Doing accounting. Accounting. Chris, you're doing a video on accounting. Yes, I'm doing a video on accounting because that is actually stuff I do on the farm. It's not going to be that big of a video, but it's one of those things that I figured, I bet a lot of you never really thought of this. I bet a lot of you never really thought of any of the stuff I do, because why would you? You got your own lives to lead. But yeah, I actually have to do accounting several times a year, and you can see I let it build up, usually until the drawer gets filled. Once the drawer gets filled, I have to do something. I try to get it done before the end of the year. I try to get it done in January, so that way we can put out tax information to anybody who may have worked for us, and also get stuff ready for the accountant. So it is a boring process, obviously, and I do it on QuickBooks. I do it on a version of QuickBooks from 2001. It's a 20-year-old program. Chris, I thought you said you use Linux. Thank you to none of you ever actually said that out loud to yourself while watching this. Yes, I use Linux, but I use a virtual computer to run Windows XP that runs that old version of QuickBooks. QuickBooks is a little bit of a scam. They make you upgrade, but there's not really that much functionality change over the years in the actual accounting part. There is in taxes and reporting, and I don't use that part of it. I just use it as a big ledger. Also, that is the best program. There is no Linux equivalent, so I run a virtual machine. Some of you are saying, Chris, I have no idea what a virtual machine is, so I figured I'd bore you right now and explain what a virtual machine is. A virtual machine is a program that can run on lots of different types of computers, and the whole idea of the program is it pretends it's a computer. It pretends it's the BIOS, the RAM, the hard drive. You set it up, you build this virtual computer, and you install an operating system on it. The operating system and all the programs that you install have no idea that it's running inside another program. Like Inception, right? Computer running a virtual computer running a thing. So it does not know any better. Why would you do this? Well, one thing is you can install different operating systems. You can have Linux running a Mac, Windows. You could have a virtual computer running a server. A lot of companies have done this. So a server is just a fancy way of saying a computer running a very specific program that usually talks to other computers. And those servers would sit idle for like 90% of the time. So somebody figured out, hey, what if we ran this server in a virtual machine? Now all of a sudden, instead of having 100 servers, they could have 10 servers running those 100 machines. So the requirements needed for a data center started shrinking, and that's what Amazon does. If you order a server for Amazon, they just spin you off a virtual machine in their big farm, and you could be running on anything, but to you it's your own personal server. That is the lesson about some geek stuff there. So yes, I run a virtual machine, Windows XP, running QuickBooks, and I'm doing the accounting. Usually I do the debits first, all the paperwork, because that's what builds up in here. Then I go through the checkbook, then I go through the deposits, and then I go through the bank statements and reconcile, and then I usually start cursing very loudly because reconciling is a pain. Luckily, a lot of the stuff that we do now is online transactions, so those are usually accurate. Marissa may have transposed numbers when she wrote down something. I may have transposed something. I may have got something wrong. Sometimes when you write a paper check, what you write it for is not actually what gets removed from your account. So, yeah, I'm going to be dealing with all that stuff. What are you going to be doing? I don't know. Watching me for just a little bit? Chris, you're not going to play a stupid synthesizer sequence, are you? Okay, so I know it doesn't look like much, but so these have all been entered. They're separated by month. They'll be put in envelopes like this where I can always go back and refer to it. And I'm just going through the missing checks report just to see if there are any entries that I didn't have actually paperwork for, like if we pay the farrier, it's easier for me just to look it up in the check register, or any instructors that we paid out that maybe we don't have a paper receipt for. So I'll do all that. This has taken me about 3 hours or so to do, roughly 4 to 5 months worth of work. That's only the debits, so now I have to do the credits and then the reconciling, which will take me another 3 to 4 hours. So, accounting on a beautiful Labor Day weekend. This is what I do every once in a while. So, yeah, it's a real business. So, work. Okay, so right now what I'm doing is I'm putting in the deposit. So Marissa writes down what's the deposit slip is, where the money came from, what it was for, and I put it into the system. So that is the next thing I'll be doing. And I've been listening to the Beach Boys, the Feel Flows box set. So don't think I'm going to get this all done today, but I will take a dent at it. Well, I wish I was done, but I'm not done, and that happens. But I've got about 2 months left to do of deposits. I actually hadn't done deposits the entire year, so that's pretty good. So maybe another hour, probably a little less, and then reconciling, which will take an hour or 2 or 3. Going through everything, seeing where I messed up or transposed numbers. That is the boring life of the business side of farming. Writing all this stuff down so that way we can be credited and pay our taxes correctly. So that's it from Dixieland Farm. Dixieland Accounting. Yeah. Take care.